Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha, and it is such a joy to be here today. In the Spokane Sangha, we do things a little bit differently, where we take a Buddhist topic and we study it for an entire month. And this year, in 2025, I have created the themes for the entire year, and they are listed on the Soul Center website, which will appear later on in the chat. And so you can take a look at the various themes and research them if you want to study them. For the month of February, we are exploring the four limitless qualities in Buddhism, also known as the four immeasurables. And this is all about cultivating very specific qualities that, when we are able to examine them and explore them and allow them to really come alive in us, they have an expressive quality that is impeccably unconditional. They are vast in their expression, and they really meet every obstacle with this capacity to minimize the hindrance. The four limitless qualities are loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. I really like the word that Thich Nhat Hanh uses for equanimity. He used two, and the two words that he used were inclusivity and freedom. I'd like to bring forward this sentiment of metta today, and this picture was painted by our Sangha member Sean C., who is here today. And this one reads, "May the stories drop with ease. May the stories drop with ease." I invite you to arrive fully to this practice. And I'd like you to take a moment before you settle in deeply to notice any stories that might be swirling around your awareness. Maybe a story you're harboring is that meditation should look a certain way, be a certain thing. I really like to encourage that people at times use this time, enjoy this time to rest. So if you are harboring a story that says a proper meditation is only one where you're seated, where you're upright, where you're fully conscious of your breath and so on, I just invite you to drop that story with ease. And if your body is asking and requesting rest, that you honor the body. Lie down, cuddle in, and enjoy this practice. Even if you fall asleep, your body and your mind and your heart will be receiving this message. Take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to create a little space for yourself in this practice, allowing your morning to be put aside. Maybe you can put your morning on your left side. And maybe what's to happen in the afternoon and evening can be put down on the right side of your body. And maybe you can allow the front and the back body, the wholeness of your body, to be in the middle, in the present. And breathe. On Wednesdays, we have been exploring this book called The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. This is the work of Shantideva, who brought to the world's consciousness this idea of a bodhisattva, an individual who is here with the full intention to ease suffering in themselves and in one another. And the first chapter of this book, and one that we've been exploring for several weeks, is the cultivation of bodhicitta. And bodhicitta is a sense within you, a motivation, an aspiration, a desire, whatever word works well for you, but there's something within you that recognizes your own pain and suffering, your own discomfort and misery, is also out in the world. And there's a feeling, there's a call, there's a real want to alleviate this pain and confusion. Bodhicitta is a softness that happens in the mind and in the heart. It's the recognition that to be human is to be wounded. To be human is to grieve. To be human is to experience confusion and ignorance. To be human is to also be magnificent, bright, resourceful, loving, peaceful. We are, each of us, a combination of many, many qualities and so much more. And when we soften to all of that, the possibilities open up, the limitlessness of being loving and kind, being compassionate, being joyful becomes a way of life. Equanimity becomes, for me anyway, a moment to pause, a moment to say, oh wow, this difficult thing I'm encountering is just fodder for the fires of my awakening. Okay, I don't have to be caught by it. I don't have to be swept away by it. I don't have to avoid it. I can look at it. Likewise, all the good things that happen in my life. Fodder for my awakening. I don't have to cling to it. I don't have to inflate it or distort it. I don't have to really weep when it goes away. I can just enjoy it for the moment. Today, what I'd like to bring forward is something very specific to cultivate bodhicitta in the realm of recovery. Habit energy, negative habit energy, creates a very self-absorbed mind and heart. The conditions of habit energy have a tendency to keep our minds and hearts focused on the habit, the relief we're going to get, the misery that's bound to happen, the destruction that can occur, the negative feelings, and so on. And most of that is centered on ourselves. So when we put it in the context of, say, drugs and alcohol, it's all about craving, thinking, feeling tempted, answering it, feeling relief, then feeling shame and guilty, feeling miserable, and then seeking relief. And it's just a cyclical kind of thing over and over and over again. And we begin to cultivate stories. I'm such a terrible person. I can't believe I'm doing this again. I know better. What's the matter with me? So on and so on. And it isn't just with drugs and alcohol. We have so many habit energies. Attention seeking, materialism, food, our relationship to food or exercise or work. We can cultivate habit energies even of caring for other people so much that we are actually empty for ourselves. And what's interesting about that particular habit energy is still how self-absorbed it can be. I'm giving, and they're not behaving, and they're not doing what I think they should be doing, and oh my God, I'm so exhausted all the time, and blah, blah, blah. And it's all centered on ourselves. So, when we take a moment and we even just think of the word bodhicitta. Just think of the idea of a softer heart, a more open heart, a more curious mind. That is a shift. And then, if we can follow that motivation, follow that for just a moment more, if we can lift our head up, bring ourselves up for a little bit of air, we begin to see, oh, that person is just like me. They're pretty self-absorbed, self-centered, worried about their lives, miserable, engaged in habit energy of aversion, avoidance, unwise speech, whatever it is. Oh my goodness, and that person is just like me, and that person is just like me, and look at all of these people just like me, confused and hurting, disappointed and angry. I know all of that. What if I could take a moment and just acknowledge it? Wow, we are both suffering human beings. Wouldn't it be nice if we could suffer a little bit less? That is loving kindness. That is compassion in action. Breathing in, I see discomfort, dissatisfaction. Breathing out, I know that feeling for myself. Breathing in, may there be some ease. For them, for me. Breathing out, ease and peace. And what this practice does, what this bodhicitta connection does, is it takes so much of our fixed attention, just a degree or two, out of that self-centeredness, that self-cherishing, and reminds us that we are part of a collective consciousness. We are part of a whole humanity. And we begin to see ourselves in one another, and they in us, me in them. And we remember we are connected. We inter-are, as Thich Nhat Hanh liked to say and taught. And what's fascinating about that is suddenly the self-absorption starts to soften, it starts to open, and the stories drop. And maybe a little bit of self-acceptance comes in. Wow, I'm uncomfortable. I can accept that. And maybe I can use that awareness to bring a little ease to someone else who might be uncomfortable. Breathing in. I'm feeling uncomfortable, and I don't like it. Breathing out. Other people don't like their discomfort. Breathing in. Discomfort. Gunk. Blah. Breathing out. Release it. Release it with ease and peace. May I feel ease and peace. May you feel ease and peace. You can engage this. It's highly effective when craving arises. And rather than panic, rather than get hooked and fixated on it, oh my God, I'm craving, and what's the matter with me? I thought I was doing so well, and oh no, oh no, oh no. That becomes a very tight, very narrow, self-centered, self-oriented place. And it might take a minute, but allow yourself a moment. Wow, okay, craving. Breathing in. I'm craving. And if you're looking at me, I'm all hunched over. My shoulders are in, because craving is scary and it's terrible. I'm breathing all that in. And on my exhalation, breathing out ease. I'm going to literally move my body, straighten my spine, roll my shoulders back, allow my heart to come forward. Breathing in, other people are experiencing craving in this moment just like me. I'm going to be fearless for them. Breathing out ease of all craving. In the next few moments of silence, see if you can listen to your own body, your own mind. What's coming up that might be a little bit difficult, a little challenge? See if you can breathe that in, soften to it, open to it. And then with your wisdom, with your strength, with your positive karma, breathe out a sentiment of loving kindness for yourself and anyone else who could be experiencing the exact same thing. friends. Bodhicitta, in my opinion, is best friends with resistance. And I think you've all heard the adage, what we resist, or what we resist persists. And that's true. And not the whole truth. Because right beside the resistance is bodhicitta, waiting to play, waiting to soften, waiting to reveal a nuanced perspective of this persisting resistance that we might have. So when we have stories that arrive and erupt in the mind, it's not about getting rid of the stories. It's not about not having stories. It's simply about, how do I sit with these stories? How do I allow them to be? Instead of resisting their presence, I simply get curious about them. Maybe even befriend some of them. Recognize that other people have stories too. And in time and with practice, eventually the stories drop. The resistance may still remain. There's always something to resist. There's always something there. But for a moment, the stories drop. There's an ease. And there's a degree of healing. And that's it. And that's enough. Alrighty. All right, let's go ahead and end our practice today, friends, with the dedication of merit. The cultivation of bodhicitta. The cultivation of your open heart and open mind. The cultivation of how softness lives and is expressed in you. How gentleness lives and expresses in you, as you. The intention today was to let our stories drop with ease. And one of those stories that we all tend to harbor is ways that we should be, ways that life should be. Bodhicitta is an invitation to open that up, drop all of it completely, and just begin to explore how you are in this moment and allow how you are to be perfect. Moment to moment to moment. It is a practice, and I want to thank you for bringing your practice here. You leave a remarkable impression in this community, in this physical space. energetically, spiritually, emotionally, your capacity to express wisdom, your capacity for patience and care is profoundly inspiring to me. It enables me and empowers me to go into the world expressing you through me as me. And as a result, I'm a better me. Thank you, friends. See you next time, maybe even tomorrow. Namaste.